It is level 1 giveaway time. What are we giving away? What are we celebrating? We're celebrating 5¼ inch drive bays. Five and a quarter inch drive bays have all but gone away, right? I mean, we've had some videos recently featuring cool stuff that you can do with 5¼ inch drive bays. Not the least of which was my home media server, just a big old stack of DVD drives. I'm getting all of my media imported. I'm playing the DVDs through a standard DVD player and then doing screen capture, which just happens to work. And it's analog, but I'm still getting 720p, so because I'm not deliberately circumventing anything, it's probably fine. Probably fine. Anyway, that involves 5¼ inch drive bays. Fractal just recently launched the Pop Air series of cases, and I've already started doing stuff with that. Threadripper 5000 is out. It's no secret that I sort of love my Threadripper workstation. This is most of my old workstation, which is based around the Gigabyte TRX 40, like the really high end, I think Aorus Extreme motherboard, and I've gone from 128 gigs of memory to 64 gigs of memory for this setup, because we're going to do some stuff. But this is in the Pop Air Excel now, which is a really inexpensive case. And it has 5¼ inch bays, like my old case, the Define 7 XL. I even did 3D printable wheels for it. Now, my 3D printable wheels are not exactly compatible with this case, and this case is a little smaller. I'm not sure that I need to put wheels on this one, but I still have two 5¼ inch bays. And I've got something in the bottom one here which holds 4 SATA hard drives. It's toolless. SATA. You know, I've got my 4 terabyte SATA hard drives in here. This is not their permanent home. This is not the forever home. But I really like this thing that lets you have 4 SATA drives toollessly. And it's from IcyDock, and we've done videos on that to cover that. Now this is a micro ATX case. So you could use this for your home server and it'll be very quiet, but it still has 2 5¼ inch bays in the front, which means that you can add other accessories to this and do fun, cool things. Like this thing that's in my Threadripper machine, you could use that for a home machine. What we were considering doing, and I'm not sure 100% we're going to do this, but Ryan and I thought it would be sort of funny to do a server for the post-apocalypse. So a relatively low-power server that would have really good longevity, but that you could run all of your stuff on. So you have your media and your books and all that sort of thing, but is sort of, you know, here because the internet is gone and society's collapsed. And I mean, not really, but it would be nice to have something that works without the cloud. Maybe a local copy of Wikipedia. Like, what would you do to have your own home server in the face of no internet? So maybe we'll build something like that in this machine with some of the IcyDock stuff, or some of this kind of thing where, you know, we're rocking 16, 20, 24, 32 terabytes of flash, just commodity SATA flash. Relatively low power. Definitely low power compared to spinning Rust. But anyway, that's just a long-winded way of saying IcyDock saw that and they said, hey, let's do a giveaway to celebrate the fact that you can get cases with 5¼ inch drive bays. So this is what we're giving away. This holds 24 drives. IcyDock saw what I was doing with this, and they said, no, this is so much better. There's a fan built into this one. It has these cool trays in it. So this would hold up to 24 times 4 terabytes worth of flash storage. 4 terabyte flash drives are still really expensive. So if you want this one, I'm giving it away on the Level 1 forum. All you have to do is reply in the thread and say, yes, I'm going to build the machine around this, and I will post pictures in the forum. I'll send it to you. Well, I'll pick one at random and then send it to that person. But yeah, 24. You don't have to fill up all 24 drives. I did have a lot of drives, and I did consider doing that. But then I decided that having just a few 4 terabyte drives probably made a lot more sense. And finally, I wanted to show you the MB62SP0. Now, so they've got a couple of different versions of this one. This one is dual SATA. They have dual SATA, quad SATA, and 6 SATA. Now, if you go with 6 SATA, you have to use thin SATA drives. Like these Samsung drives are really thin. Depending on what capacity you get, sometimes the SATA drive is a little bit taller, a little bit thicker. And so I think the 4 drive one is really safe, but the 2 drive one will work with up to U.2 thickness drives, but this particular enclosure is not for U.2, it's for SATA. So you get 2 SATA connections at the back. The other half of this, the top part, is designed for an optical drive, a notebook style optical drive. So you can just slide in a notebook optical drive in here and have an optical drive plus 2 hot swap SATA bays in the front, and again, boom. If your case has a 5 1/4 inch bay, you mount it at the bottom and you're good to go. And so at the back here, you can see we've got our 3 SATA connections, 1 for the optical disk drive, which you don't have to use, it's optional, and then 2 for the SATA devices as well. This is another one that we're going to give away. So if you're interested in the MB62SP0B, post a picture on the forum of how you're going to use it, what your plan is in that same thread. If you're interested in both of them, just tell me about both of them. Randomly selected winner. This is also from IcyDock. This is the IcyDock MB873MP-B. Now this is a thing that will hold 8 M.2 drives and provide sufficient cooling. You actually see all the holes? You actually get a lot of cooling through this thing. It's got 2 fans. You mount your M.2 in here, 110 millimeter, 80 millimeter, it's all fine. Double-sided, single-sided, it's all fine. It comes with everything you need to turn this into a heatsink enclosure, like there's thermal pads for this. Now, M.2 is not hot swap. You're not going to be able to hot swap these ever, even in a server configuration. Even though PCIe hot plug is a thing, M.2, the physical connector, was not designed for hot plug, so it won't work properly with hot plug. But you could still have 8 M.2 devices accessible, boom, at the front of your machine. It uses Oculink connectors, and so I've got NFK N8654F. You can order these online, and this is an SFF 8i connector, so you need 2 cables for 4 of the drives, and this is going to use 32 PCIe lanes, 32 PCI Express 3.0 lanes. And this will give you 8 M.2 at the front of your machine. Obviously, if you're going to use 32 lanes for storage, you're going to need something serverish, like Threadripper. This is only a 64-lane platform, because this is not Threadripper Pro. But hey, I can still do this and still have a GPU and an 8-lane slot. This is fine. If U.2 is more your speed, IcyDock makes these available in PCI Express 3 and 4. Now, I will caution you, if you're going to go for PCI Express 4 in a front U.2 configuration, there's pretty much only one Broadcom adapter that you have to get, and you have to get their cables in order for PCI Express 4 to work correctly. I have been pulling my hair out for 6 months trying to get other combinations to work reliably with PCI Express 4, and they just don't exist. And that's not really IcyDock's fault, it's just that PCI Express 4 signal characteristics are so tight in terms of tolerances that there's really not a good solution here for something like this. If you need PCI Express 4, you're almost better with an add-in card like this. This will go from, PCI Express by 8 to 2x4 for U.2 drives, and then it'll carry it on a PCIe card. That's totally fine. If you don't mind just PCI Express 3, then something like this will work great. You can use Oculink connectors, you can use the same 8i interface that I'm using with this, so the same cabling that I'm using with our other IcyDock product will work fine with this IcyDock product at PCI Express 3, and then this gives you 4 U.2 bays at the front of your machine, server grade with adequate cooling. And this again is a great option for something that's serverish. If you want to run this on an Alder Lake desktop, I'm sorry, there's just not enough PCIe lanes to make it work unless you're going to use the iGPU or something like that. But this works really well. Now this one might be too big to fit in our Fractal cases because it takes 3 5 1/4 inch bays, but IcyDock has 1 and 2 5 1/4 inch bays versions of this as well. And you can use them with a SAS controller or something like that, but me personally, I'm just really excited that we have cases that have 5 1/4 inch bays again, and we're going to be doing some other giveaways, so make sure that you've got a level 1 forum account. And yeah, that's enough rambling for now. I'm really happy with how my Threadripper 3970X is going to live on and still be doing things while I'm doing mad experiments with the 5th generation Threadripper Pro 5032 core. Woo! Oh, and I almost forgot, if you're not the kind of person who likes doing this kind of stuff internal to your machine, we've reviewed IcyDock adapters that will let you connect M.2, this is PCI Express, this is the wonder of having USB to PCIe chipset, M.2 directly to your machine through USB. This adapter will let you connect M.2 SATA devices as well as 2.5-inch SATA devices directly through USB-C with power. This is the IcyDock MB031U. So if you want to connect SATA devices directly via USB without fooling around with the inside of your machine, you can do that, connect it on the front panel, and you're good to go. I especially like that this one has a M.2 where you can just jam your M.2 in the top and be good to go. I wish they had that on the NVMe one. So like the NVMe one, you have to plug it in here. You can use an M.2 with the U.2 one, you just have to have another adapter. I covered that in a separate review. You should definitely check that out. All right, I'm Wendell, this is Level 1, I'm signing out, and you can find me in the Level 1 forums.